You know?
It's not a useful term then, because
Right.
it just doesn't make any distinction.
And so when we think of something that's broken, like if I take this pencil and I snap it in half, then it's not useful. I can't use it. It's not something that can be used anymore. And so if we think of ourselves as broken, you know, because you're using the term we're sinners, and we are, and we do need God's redemption, and we need that, but we're still useful. And you know, I feel like that. I just feel like that term gets to me sometimes. It's a triggering term for me, which is my thing, not anybody else's.
Well, that's what we're asking about you, though.
Yeah, no,
So
I get it,
good.
but I'm just saying, you know, that I own all my own feelings, and so anything I'm saying here has to do with me and my filter that I'm seeing everything through, and my rules that I interpret things through, and I'm not judging anyone's intentions of how they're using these words or anything like that. It's just what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling through it, and I own that.
Totally, that's what we need.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to this question, just based off some of your answers, is what do you think most guys would say is missing from men's breakfast, or men's ministry, I should say?
Well, it's not bacon.
Check box.
We got that down.
There's plenty of bacon. That's a great question. Something that's missing.
Well, let me ask it to you in this way.
Sure.
Not necessarily something that's missing. What would you like to see more out of men's ministry? What would you, if you were leading a men's ministry, what would you like to see happen that you don't think is happening?
I would like to see maybe just a little more of an uplifting culture, you know. And it's not that I feel like it's saying that feels wrong, because it's not that I feel like we're, you know, tearing each other down, but I do feel like there's something there of the message of that you're enough, and that, you know, the past is the past. You know, that you've been redeemed for anything that's happened in the past. And, you know, Brandon even said it today, you know, you've got the two choices all the time. And if you've gone this way in the past, you can now say, you know what, I'm going this way, I'm going towards Jesus now. And that we're all redeemed for anything we've done in the past. And just that we're not broken, we are exactly who we're meant to be, that everything in our lives happens for our benefit. And that's given, the challenges we have are given to us as a gift in order to make us more useful.
Can I ask you, are there some good examples of people, maybe personalities, churches, or examples of who's doing that really well?
You know, I've been out of the church kind of community for so long that I don't think I could. I really don't know who, because I'm honestly not familiar with various churches and the way they do things.
Okay.
So honestly, I don't know. I do know that I immediately felt at home here at Rock Point, and I feel like I do feel like the people here are amazing, and the hearts, people just have huge hearts here, and everybody wants so much to help and to serve each other, and it really has become like home just in a few months. And so I can't see myself looking for something else. You know, it's a very special place, to be sure. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely a special place here. Where do you see talk about where you see the ideal men's ministry? I don't think I really understand that question. I'm going to skip that one. Let's talk about your best experiences with Christians.
past experiences with Christians. Well, I mean, Darren, you talking about seeing the guy on the street and just having that willingness to pick up a guy that you don't know and give him a ride home and share your testimony with him, just out of nowhere. Like that's amazing to me. And yeah, you have such a big heart, brother. Like that's fantastic. So that's got to be one. Just that story you shared today is such a great thing.
Thanks.
And yeah, just the entire theme that Rock Point puts as its underlying message of pointing people to Jesus by loving them like Jesus, I think that is just such a beautiful thing. And I think that really almost condenses the message of the Bible beautifully. It's love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And, if there's anything or any message in the Bible that we need to take, I think that's it. And that's, again, if we were all to have that attitude all day, every day, I think just showing that and just leading the world that way, I think could change things in a dramatic, that's a great word.
Yes.
Dramatic way.
Whoa,
Dramatic way.
I'm gonna get that in the Bible.
All right, yeah.
Man.
Hashtag.
I thought it was gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
Dramatic
gymnastics.
That was a good word.
Good times.
Now you've kind of talked about that. I'm going to go back to this question because I think there's, just talking with you and knowing you, Cal, is there outside of us having a breakfast here and meeting with a Bible study with men's ministry, is there something else that you think that men's ministry can do to bring guys closer to Jesus, as an example?
Well, I love the simplicity of the idea of men's breakfast. It's just like, hey, come eat, spend some time together. And, I think there's maybe more opportunities there that we could be doing other things together, other fellowship things. I have no idea if that's something that has been done in the past and it just didn't work or what. But yeah, we could be doing other things together. We could be going out bowling or, who knows, taking a hike. I would love to do something active, like go take a hike together, hike up to the top of one of the little mountains around here and then maybe have a Bible study on the top. And maybe maybe that wouldn't work for a large group, but I feel like there'd at least be a few of us that would be into it. So yeah.
Yeah, like I had a good brother of mine suggest that we can even go out to be like, hey, a couple of us are getting together. We're gonna do Feed My Starving Children on Wednesday. Anybody that's interested, contact Darren. Hey, Chris is going mountain biking next Saturday at 7, and he's gonna start over at Santan. Anybody interested in that? Why don't you talk with Chris and you guys? And that's kind of that's why I'd asked that question to see if that was something that you might even be interested in. And,
do we have a Facebook group, like a Rock Point Men Facebook group? We do.
This page.
Okay.
we do.
Maybe I'm not part of it. So yeah, I was thinking that would be a good, something like that would be a good place for all that. And
I didn't even know that.
Okay, well.
I haven't been posting a lot just in there. Well, nobody was posting before me, and then really for a long time, I've been posting because I was like, I don't want to be white noise, or I don't want to start posting and then stop. I'd like to settle into some kind of rhythm and see where men's ministry is going, and then think about that.
We have a Facebook
but
page.
that might be that might be a good tool.
Because I didn't even know about it. So maybe we
standard
need to.
Procedure is hey, are you having an event in the next couple of weeks you want to invite guys to? Is it in Facebook as an event listed in the page? Then you can announce it up here, and once that happens, point people to the Facebook page. All the details will be there. Good workflow.
Awesome, yeah. I feel like that would be a great way to get it out too. But maybe we need to, and obviously I think there's probably a good percentage of our group that doesn't even do Facebook or anything. So we're gonna have to reach those gentlemen in other ways, but you know, a lot of us do, and I didn't even know about it. So like I would get a lot more about what's going on, like Darren was saying, so and so's going on a bike ride or whatever. Like if it was through a place like that, I would see it more probably.
What kind of activities would you want to do? Like, let's say, is there an activity that you would say, hey, I'm going to be doing this activity? Anybody want to come?
Well, I exercise a lot.
He's
You
an
know, I
orange
don't know if
therapy guru.
Orange Theory.
Orange Theory,
Theory,
yeah.
whatever.
That's all right. My buddy in Chandler makes that same mistake all the time. Yeah, so I mean, I
Darren does
love
it to
doing that.
antagonize us.
Yes,
Yeah.
he does. But
Sorry.
No worries. So yeah, I mean that would always be good. Again, like taking a hike would be, I think, would be a beautiful thing. One of my biggest ways of worship, really, I feel like, is getting out in nature and just feeling appreciative of how beautiful the world is. Being up there in Williams was an experience,
Amazing,
man.
yes.
Like just in terms of how beautiful it was and the fresh air and everything. It was, you know,
Yeah.
I felt like I was filled with gratitude just the
yeah,
entire weekend.
definitely going to the cross next time. So
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna make that hike up there. Determined to do that. So. Let's lead into a couple of other questions here and kind of go away from that a little bit. What does discipleship mean to you?
Well, it was brought to my attention, and I guess I knew this, but I didn't think about it. But discipleship comes from the word discipline, and I think it's, you know, learning to follow the lead of you know, of Jesus, and learning to follow what we're taught here in the Bible. But it's about, to me, discipline is about focus. And I think that we tend to think about it in terms of things we don't want to do that we force ourselves to do.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that you can only do for so long. You know, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna exercise, or I'm gonna, you know, come to men's breakfast even though I don't want to wake up that early or whatever, and I'm gonna do it even though I don't want to, you know, and I'm gonna push myself to do that. It just, you know, you might do that for a couple of weeks, but it's not gonna last. Whereas if you can shift your focus from the reasons why you don't want to do it to the reasons why it's good and the things it does for you and all of the, again, the good for it, then all of a sudden things get a lot easier. So, you know, forcing yourself to exercise, you know, I'm going to do it because I know it's good for me, and or it's, man, I feel so much better when I do this. I look better, I feel better, I'm more attractive, I'm more confident in myself, etc. You know, just if you could tell, my whole body language changed just when I was describing those two. So, you know, so for me, discipleship, it's about knowing what we have to do, but knowing what we need to focus on to do it, instead of just forcing ourselves to follow, you know, a list of rules or something.
So are you saying then that that discipleship is a kind of discipline that needs to be the kind of discipline that also reminds you why you're doing the things that you're doing?
Definitely. I think we always need to keep why forefront in our minds.
Is that what you're saying, or am I putting words in your
No,
mouth?
I absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What else, besides discipline, what else would discipleship mean?
Well, it's I think there's a certain amount of humility that comes with that word. You know, we want to be, I forget who said it, but everyone wants to be, you know, the Bill Bush. Everyone wants to be the leader and the guy who's up on stage, who's the forefront and is in the spotlight. and we all have a a need for significance that way, but there's also a lot of other roles and other ways to support, and I think discipleship, like being a follower, being a supporter, there's a certain amount of that involved in it. It's about serving others in whatever way is needed, in whatever way your own gifts are suited to that.
So talk about that a little more. What are ways to when we talk about discipleship, what are ways, what are like snapshots or glimpses of what that looks like? You started to talk about that just now.
I did? Okay. I'm just going off the top here, obviously.
Go for it. That's what we want.
Yeah. To me, it's just figuring out how we can serve others. I feel like it's pretty crystal clear what we're supposed to do here. And so it's just figuring out how each of us is best suited to do it, and then getting out there and serving others.
Discipleship, when we think about discipleship, does that imply relationship, or is that just kind of like on your own?
I would say it does imply some relationships, and I don't think anymore, and this is something that's changed pretty drastically for me in the last 10 or 15 years. I think that the fellowship part of it and us doing things together is an integral part. And I honestly used to believe that I was better off on my own. I used to call myself a Ronin Christian, which, if you don't know, a Ronin is a samurai that has no master.
Yeah, it's been
because I didn't have a church.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't have a church, and I would just read the Bible study on my own or whatever. And so, my thought was that the inherent flaws in humanity that then would show up in any large group of people was what made the church worthless.
Gotcha.
Because if I had to go deal with all of the problems that come with a big group of people, then that's going to take away from my fellowship with God and my experience. So I need to get away from that. That was my experience before. But I think a lot of that just came from my